sponsored by Riverside.
Hey, welcome to BJB Today. It's the coldest. Our band is cold. It wouldn't strike up properly. So there we go. All right, Austin Chapman joining us for one of the first times, I think, on Blue Jay Banner Today. How you doing, AC?
Oh, well, trying to stay warm out here, man. It's a
Oh,
little
man.
chilly, a little chilly out here.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to Cedar Falls tomorrow. Watch Murray State and UNI.
Mhm.
I looked at their temperature. Oh my God, it's like 15 degrees worse than ours. Like it's going to be
Jeez.
below 0 tomorrow during the day. So, and I don't know, I know where I'm going, but I don't know where I'm supposed to go to get my press pass. And so I'm gonna email the UNI guy today and go, hey, you need to like tell me exactly where I need to go, where I need to park, because I'm not walking around.
That's
I
fair.
remember the last time I went up there when they were still playing the Unidome and I parked in the wrong lot. Oh my word. It was a walk and the wind was blowing and it was cold. Oh, man.
Any snow or just cold?
No, it's just cold. I don't think anybody's getting snow. Well, I think further,
Right.
I think this snow band, what I saw, like actually headed down to like Murray, Kentucky and down in there. I think they're supposed to get like a foot of snow, like in a big swath of the country to our southeast and then
Yep.
onto the East
Yep.
Coast, so they're
I
gonna get
know a lot of the
hammered with
families
snow,
getting snow.
and
They're
then
not too
cold,
happy
oh,
about it in
man.
Dallas.
Cold is bad enough, but at least when you don't have snow, it just feels that hair better, you know what I mean? Like
I almost rather the snow than -5 right now, but
well, no, but
you
I'm
know.
saying it when you get both, you know
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely,
you know?
definitely,
Anyway,
definitely.
all
Then
right,
it's freeze.
hey, first up, we want to thank, our sponsor, Infusion Brewing Company. The last time here, we wanna give you one more heads up on this Wax and Drafts event we've been pushing. It's, Sunday from 11 to 4. Go to Infusion. They're gonna have over 40 card vendors there. You can buy, sell, trade, check out cards, see what they're costing, see what maybe your cards are worth, all that kind of fun stuff. Beer, pizza, soft drinks, all for purchase, ready to go. Totally free to the public. So check it out at 6271 South 118th Street in Omaha. Fusion Brewing, fusionbrewing.com. You can check everything out they have to offer. All right, so we thought we'd just dive into some topics. Like we talk about them in our post game, and we don't really have. You may chuckle when you hear me say this because we sure we sure ramble on. I sure ramble on about a lot of different stuff. But you're like, what? You don't have time? Shut the hell up, and maybe you talk about this. But anyway,
Sure.
um, we really want to talk about what happened in the game and so forth. So I think the biggest topic when you go on social media and everything now is everybody's talking about the 5 with the Jason Green injury. Where do you think, like, we're sitting right now, like, with what we have? Like, let's assume Jason's gonna be out. I would assume he probably is not playing Tuesday.
Right.
So we'll find out. They're not gonna practice. They didn't practice yesterday. They're not practicing today. They're not gonna practice till later tomorrow. So where do you think we sit with it right now?
Whew. You know, it's tough. I do remember now, Tim, it was, the matter of pulling the red shirt.
Ah,
Um,
there we go. Okay, yeah, well,
yeah,
this ties
so
right in.
that kinda that folds
Yep.
into this 5 play. Um, you know, it's tough, to be honest, this year hadn't really unfolded from the 5 position the way we thought. Um, as you see, Owen now has a sickness, so there's no timetable really on that, I don't think, as far as him just trying to find wind. Um I think we're gonna lean on Conan, honestly, a lot more than what we have. Clearly, he's been getting a lot more reps, first one off the bench for the 5. But I think we're gonna be running a lot of guards, to be honest. We're gonna be playing small, trying to play a little bit faster, see if we can create some more mismatches. Um, Granted, that's not gonna do great things for our rebounding, but our rebounding hasn't been that great all year, to be honest. So it's gonna be a team effort, definitely. Regardless of who we throw in the 5, I think now, whether it's Owen, whether it's Kareem, whether we decide to pull Alexa's shirt, I just think it's gonna be has to be a team effort. That's just kind of been one of our weak points right now as a team, and I just think really it's got to be a collective effort. We saw a little bit of that small matchup last game with five guards on the court. Greer potentially might be playing a little more five,
Yeah, right,
unfortunately.
right.
Trout, of course, probably going to be playing five now. Yeah, it just looks a little different. I think that it looks somewhat like my junior year, where we had some Bragi playing some five. Doug sometimes would, interchange, but I think it's just gonna look a lot different than kind of what we've been used to over the past
Right.
few years of having that 7-2 guy back there.
All right, so there's 3 points that you brought up that are really good. Number 1, let's go back to the red shirt so we can kinda I'm not gonna say we're gonna put it to bed, but anyway, after our show on Wednesday, I got some information. I talked to someone. They don't have any plans to pull a red shirt.
Right.
So, even though he was running with the 2s that day, that may have just been like a
A numbers thing.
yeah, you know,
Right.
because maybe they were thinking, "Well, we have to practice with Karam," even though our starting lineup has Trout at the 5, okay?
Mhm.
They probably thought we have to practice with Karam at the 5, and then the second team, they didn't have anybody that day, so then they put Alexa in there. So, I think that was
I'll
more
back up
that.
too. JT. I forgot about JT. He just came back.
Yeah, but he's
And
not
he's
even
not 100% healthy.
not
Don't
even
get me wrong.
close to where he go. I mean, he's just basically walking around with a basketball and shooting. That's all he's really doing
Yeah,
right now.
fair,
So
fair.
Max said it's gonna be some time. He goes, "Yeah, he's not ready yet." So, that's a shame because think about it, you just never that's what the amazing thing is at the beginning of the year, every year we go in, "Man, how are we gonna get minutes for all these guys?" And then pretty soon we're like, "Wow, we don't have enough depth," you know?
Yeah.
This happens every year it seems like, and just horrible for JTT because he thought, "Hey, I'm gonna get some spot minutes maybe, and that's about it because we're so loaded at the 5."
Right.
Guess what happens? And, Jackson goes down, and pretty soon now all of a sudden your front court depth is down, So,
Absolutely.
so anyway, that kinda puts that to bed. So, on to your second
Sure.
point. Yeah, I think you're spot on with the Hudson thing. I think we would probably if we go with Hudson, okay, then I think we almost have to go, like, with Trout, Hudson, Fedor. So we have, Fedor would I would say would be our and obviously Josh Dix has gotta be on the floor if Hudson's gonna be
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, Hudson's a good rebounder, I guess, but I'm just saying if we're gonna be don't have a true 5 in there, even though I say that, and then you flip to what's got us going here was a smaller lineup, so but
You know?
we had Jason Green was in the lineup, though, with
Right, but
Trout.
he's not a 5 by any
Right,
means of the
but at
imagination.
least we had him in the lineup with Trout,
Right.
so that made a
Yeah,
huge
absolutely.
difference.
Absolutely.
Now, without him, now you're like, "Okay," because Swartz, I mean, he's not a rebounder. It's just
He's not. But
no.
that's kinda what I'm saying, it's gotta be this collective effort now, it's
Yeah.
almost that's gotta be the true point of emphasis of everybody's crashing and nobody's leaking out, it's gonna be that cone in the drill, cone in the basket type stuff, and it's
Well,
just you gotta average probably 4 to 5, 6 rebounds, per player type of thing now, not just assuming somebody else is gonna grab the ball off the rim.
yeah, let's look at some other things. So, where this is really a quandary was if you could have Josh Dix, Ty Davis, Hudson, and then Karam or whoever else, and Fedor, and then Karam. If you were gonna take a collective group of guys, that's probably our best rebounding 5 guys right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's
But
fair.
but then you don't have Graves' ability to run the point and be the point guard and score, okay?
Mhm.
So you're taking and giving here, that's what this problem causes. So I
And
do
honestly,
think
I think we'll see some, I didn't even mention Harper, but I think he'll be
oh, yeah, 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 that's what
probably
I'm
playing a
forgetting.
lot more 4 than like a 3
Yeah.
position, now.
God, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I forget. Like, yeah, so that would probably even be that would probably even be more ideal to go Trout, Harper, Hudson.
I
Y
I kinda see that being somewhat the case. I mean, that's still somewhat of a fairly large, 3 there.
yeah. We do have the
It's not
versatility this year of having some larger threes. That's the good thing
right,
this year,
right.
you know?
So, I mean, in that case, and especially if if defensive scheme is more or less switching and which I feel like that's more kinda where we're headed. We're gonna probably gonna be switching 1 through 5,
Yeah.
type of thing, playing actual team defense and collective team rebounding.
They tend
I
not
mean
to they've gone back to, like, not switching as much as they used to. You know what I mean?
right, right,
I know that was
which
Mac.
is I just think it's gonna be tough if we're
Yeah,
playing
right.
this small, right, and then playing some of these Big East bigs that we have. Um, I just think we're gonna have to, or we're gonna be playing some zone, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, Mac always likes like, especially now with Josh being our best defender. So, he got thrown on Carroll, I mean,
Right.
so Mac doesn't like to switch because then it's pretty easy for teams to get you out of your
To
rhythm
find
and
that
your
mismatch, right.
matchups.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why they don't like to do that. But then, yeah, and I just think this whole 5 thing really points toward Fedor because Fedor is playing much better defense. Like Max said the other night, he goes, "Fedor is probably our best guard defender right now than Josh." So
Mhm.
you gotta, he's more physical. Now it depends on the matchups. I mean, I don't when I've watched Marquette, I wouldn't classify them this year as a physical team. Okay. They like to get out, get in the open space, create
They
some
are hard-nosed, though.
mismatches.
They are hard-nosed, though, like, they're not you remember the
Oh,
home
they're
game,
hard-nosed defense, no
they were
question.
shoot but even on offense, it was like it was everything inside the charge circle, it felt like, and so it's like they're trying to create, changes at the rim, so I wouldn't say they're
Right.
not as physical as past, but that's still somewhat their
Yeah, I
MO, I
just think of
believe, at least.
guys like physical specimens like Cam Jones
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Iguodala and guys like that. Um, so I think but then, if Fedora can do what he did offensively the other night, then we're fine. In
Yeah.
fact, I would like to see him take it to the hole more because he is physical.
I think the last game is gonna help that, now
Yeah,
it's close to shooter all the way, and now he's gonna be able to pump, get to the basket a little more. But I just like the way he played, honestly, last game. He played with great pace, wasn't really forcing too much, was taking the open ones. And then, like you said, he played excellent defense, which I've always thought he brings that physicality. My rookie year, I was in Montenegro, and I got a different respect for Serbians in that part of the world. And he's kind of that gritty guy too. He's flashy at times, but he also, he understands what it takes, to
yeah.
get the middle stuff done.
Yeah, and then, we can't forget about Isaac. I mean, he needs to get back, I think, a little bit too, and I don't know if maybe it's been all the minutes he's been playing that, he's not used to, but I think he needs to get back a little bit to what he was maybe 5, 10 games ago when he was really, really a dog in there, really being aggressive,
Oh yeah.
being a little tougher, and I think he's gotta get back to that a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is that part of the year, right? Where people's legs are starting to wear down. Everybody's got nicks and bruises. And to your point, yes, he might not be as familiar with all these minutes that he's currently logging, but hopefully these next few days, gets these guys some rest, much needed rest that's needed, and
Yeah,
they
no
come back
doubt,
energized.
no doubt. Now let's before we close out this, conversation on the 5, so let's go to Owen Freeman. So, I would think if this isn't some crazy illness, he would be ready to go for Marquette because 'cause he's been sick for 2 days and 2 days, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now
Right.
Thursday, Friday, generally these things run their course after a little less than a full week, so,
Mhm.
he should be, whatever he's got, if he's got just the regular old, crap that goes around by Saturday or Sunday, he's not gonna be, contagious so that he can get back on the court anyway.
Right.
Um,
But
well,
that I guess that's too my thing, his case is I feel a little bit different, right? Maybe somebody that's been logging 32 plus minutes, like a Josh Dix per se, right? I think their bounce back will be a lot quicker. Them already kinda having game rhythm, game legs. Owen has been trying to find, his wind, right? And just I don't think he's been 100% comfortable yet with his knee yet. And I mean, you lose wind when you get sick, no matter, how many minutes you're playing. And he's already kind of, eating air right now. So I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. I
yeah,
think we'll be more upset if we throw him out there. But this should be a lot of rest, and hopefully that's what he's doing and getting a lot of vitamin C in and staying
yeah,
warm.
yeah.
Hopefully that's the case.
Um, yeah, the more I'm thinking about this over the last couple of weeks, I'm thinking, I think we're gonna find something else after the season. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying from a personal standpoint or a team building standpoint, anything like that. I'm just thinking like maybe there's something else that came up that we're just not knowing about right now.
Yeah,
That they're having to rest him or take it easy with him or whatever. Uh,
absolutely, absolutely.
you know,
Yeah, I just
that
I
makes
think
more sense, I would guess.
to my eyes, I've kind of had the similar knee issue he had, and they went in and took out more than they thought, and the recovery process took a little longer than you would expect. Uh, yeah, granted, we play different positions, but I think there is a little more there, honestly, than
Well,
we all
I would say
happen
I
to
would
know
say you're
about.
right on there because a 6'10" guy is gonna have a little more stress
Right,
on that particular part of the body, but you're you're moving and you're having to while he's jogging down the floor, on a inbound play, you're
right,
having to fight guys that are in your grill, too.
right. Yeah. So
I
I
didn't
mean,
ever
it's a little
remember
different.
you I don't remember you, though, really did you miss time? I didn't
Yeah, I missed the first, like, 2 months before, and then
well, when
I
you
had
when
to
you
start.
started at Creighton?
No, so, I mean, I had a couple scopes, yeah, in between there, but then the lot very my senior year, I had they went and cleaned out the meniscus, and then it basically, was rubbing bone to bone, and I sat out for a month, and then we had our first game, basically. I think I practiced for a few days, and,
Okay, so you
yeah,
didn't
I was
really
I was
miss a whole lot of game
I was
time, it
right
was
back
in the
to it.
prep.
Yeah, I didn't miss any game time
Okay,
t
yeah, I was
at
gonna say
all.
because I don't remember you I remember you just being out there every
I
night.
probably I should have, but no,
Yeah.
I didn't. And, to each his own, but,
Okay,
I
well,
wanted to be out there.
good because I was gonna use, the analogy that, Hudson's dad, Josh, told me a while back earlier this year with, sometimes a guy's greatest talent is availability.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know what I mean? And
Absolutely,
I was just gonna say,
absolutely,
Austin, you were there. Like, I'm sure you had
absolutely.
bumps, bruises, injuries. You were there.
Part
Um,
of the job.
you know, uh, certain guys have been banged up throughout the year. Jason Green, until this
Mhm.
last one, he was there. He was out there playing with one arm, basically.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
so we gotta have, Owen, everybody, not just Owen. It's gotta be everybody's gotta be there here going down the stretch. Um, so
These
let's
times, and I will say though, these times are a little bit different. These guys got agents, so there's a lot more riding on the lines
Yeah,
now, and
yeah.
there's a lot more people in ears and telling you what you should do. People have their own doctors and things of that nature. Now, it's a little different landscape, and I don't think players nowadays, they're more or less on the LeBron James, tagline of taking some rest for games. I think we saw that largely last year. I think was the first shock to us where,
Yeah.
one of our guards decided to shut it down. I don't think anybody was too happy with that one, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. Well, yeah, you mentioned the Asian part too, and I don't wanna derail this off the road here, but, I watched this, O-line committee where there's 2 former offensive linemen on this show, and it's great. It's Alex Boone and Jeremiah Searles, who played at Nebraska, who lives in Lincoln.
Mhm.
Anyway, I they're both Jeremiah is now an agent, okay? And
Okay.
so Alex has go so they asked him a lot of questions about that. I had no like, I was always wondered, like, how much in the NFL is, like, an agent involved in what's going on with the injury, and they were like I was, like, amazed how much it was, and they told
Mhm,
stories about, "No, my agent called me up and goes, 'You do not practice today,'"
mhm.
I mean, like, that's not his decision, that's not the team's, that's his agent's decision, you know?
Yep, yep.
So
I
there's a
I mean,
lot of stuff like that.
at the end of the day, they're protecting their investment,
Yeah,
right? So,
right.
yeah, it's just,
And
I
I didn't realize the communication the agent had with the team too, like,
oh, yeah.
"Hey, hey, what's the deal? He can't play this weekend, he just told me he practiced today, that he shouldn't be I mean, it was amazing. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
you know? So I think it's something the average fan doesn't think about, you know?
No, they're the mediator a lot of times, player generally never wants to deal with that stuff, you
Yeah.
kinda you can rub people the wrong way too,
Oh,
and
yeah.
your
I'll
point
bet.
always isn't
I'll bet there's a
taken.
constant, like,
There's a pool there.
yeah.
There's a little pool, sorry. I gotta fix that. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, even Jeremiah, like, they wanted him to talk about one of these teams who just fired a coach, and he's just like, I gotta deal with that team probably down the road, man. I'm not gonna say nothing." You know? Um, Before we get into real quick to wrap this up with some Hudson talk, I wanna talk about Vino Moss. Go to vinomoss.com, see all they have. 2 great locations now in Legacy off, Center and 168th, and then their, uh longtime standing location on just south of Maple on 144th next to Blue Sushi. Over there tonight, by the way, they have wine tasting. So you want to go over there tonight on Friday nights over at the regular location and make it when you go in there, make sure you ask them about their wine club because it's fabulous. So check it out. That's Vino Moss and vinomoss.com. Hudson Greer. Again, we saw glimpses of him and we're like, but you pointed
Flashes.
out so good in the post game. Yeah, but then Hud goes out there and makes a couple mistakes, and then because he's a freshman, because he hasn't played a lot, Mac's not gonna trust him much.
No, no, and I wouldn't say he's not gonna trust him because I think he does. I think he trusts him quite a bit more than even some players that are playing more, to be honest. But that one error that he had in the second half where he went for a steal and he over gambled a little bit. Um, that was a pivotal play, I think, too. I think where we were trying to get momentum back
That
and
one
then
where he
he
missed
kind of
the switch?
missed the switch and then he jumped on a
Yeah,
hard,
yeah.
on a pass and then he gave the guy, a clear lane to the basket. They dumped it off, made an easy layup, which, you won't see that from the naked eye, but of course, knowing the game, it was just that was his fault, at the end of the day. And that's just some freshman experience stuff, kind of like what you're saying. I think he just got to be a little more solid. Other than that, I think he played a great game. He, hit open shots. He was out there giving the energy needed, diving for the 50-50 balls, getting hands on balls. He just brings a different energy too that I
Yeah,
like to see.
and you know what?
It's just it's nice.
Totally, totally not didn't matter, and you're not gonna notice it, but I've watched that replay of that last pass by Xavier, and the ball, the guy got it briefly and hit the rim, and Hudson took once, just swatted that thing out of bounds. I mean, that's a smart for a freshman. Like,
Oh yeah,
a lot of guys would try and grab it and then maybe tip it into the basket or whatever.
right,
It's the old
right.
football defense, knock it down, and that was a
Hmm.
smart play. It didn't
Absolutely.
matter, but I mean, still, it was a smart play. Had there been 1.5 seconds left when that pass was happening. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
he
No,
does stuff like that. He comes
he's
on
an
the floor
intellectual
and he
player.
just looks like he belongs. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Yeah, and I mean, he has the stature, he has the body. Um, He's a high IQ player, but he definitely has the talent to match it, also. But I just think it's some of the game slowing down for him, right?
Yeah,
Like Trout kind of touched on a few times this year, and Jackson. It takes a little bit, and I'm not even saying Max system, just this game in general. It's a little bit faster coming from high school, and it only gets faster as you go up. But I think he honestly is doing a great job, especially considering his circumstances, being gone and missing a month or two, and then the red shirt. I just honestly think he's battling through some pretty great adversity, to be honest,
yeah. I just
as a
you
freshman.
know, I'm just hoping, like, this could be a Swartz situation where Swartz, didn't play a whole game and then finally got in the lineup and then boom, took off, took advantage of the situation. So this is kind of an advantage situation thing for Hood, and not only Hood, other guys too. So,
Absolutely,
Fedor and, to get more
absolutely,
minutes. So,
absolutely.
yeah. Just want to mention a quick shout out to RTI Threads. Go to rtithreads.com. Check out everything they offer. They got like caps like this one, tees, quarter zips. They made some swanky ones that AC's got.
Oh yeah,
Great looking Blue Jay banner t-shirts. So check it all out. That's rtithreads.com. All right. It's Friday. Austin's got to run. I got to run. Hope you enjoyed our little breakdown of what's going on, and we'll have more product for you next week. Everybody enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the hoops tomorrow. A lot of big time hoops games tomorrow. Uh,
sir.
we got, I'm telling you, upset alert tomorrow morning at 11 a.m.
Who's
Nebraska
that?
at Minnesota. Minnesota's been playing lights out at home this year.
Ah,
That's
You know, I don't like commenting on it, but it. I mean, they look decent, Tim. They do. They look decent.
oh, you can't
They look.
you can't pick apart much of anything now, but Fager's got the injury now. So maybe that throws off the rotation and mess. I don't know. I'm just saying.
uh,
And I'm not rooting
earlier
against them. And
earlier game too.
well, not only that, it's an 11 o'clock game. Plus, this is a trap game because they got Michigan Tuesday. They're already looking ahead to Michigan. So
Fair.
this could be a trap game. That's all I'm
Is
saying.
there ice under that court?
No, 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 no. This is in
No.
the barn, man. The court's
Yeah.
elevated. Court's a little bit
Yeah. Yeah.
elevated. It's not as elevated as much as it was, but it's still elevated. Like, who was it? Bo Ryan used to get Wisconsin in there, and they'd go to the corner, and he'd like have the guys roll off the edge, so they learned how
Yeah.
to roll off without getting hurt. And Guard has taken that same approach, when they were in there the other night. So,
That's fair.
but God, yeah, it's going to be 40 below up in Minneapolis, so I'm sure the crowd will be hurt by that. But if it wasn't, you could get a full house in there. It gets pretty loud. So, but that'll be. I'm just saying, just upset alert right there.
All right. All right.
They might blow them up by 30, but Minnesota's been playing really. Nico's going to get crap done there. He doesn't have his players in there right now. He gets
Right.
his players in there. That dude can coach. That dude
That's
can
fair.
coach.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah.
All right. All right, man. Enjoy the weekend of all the sports and stay warm out there, everybody. And I'll have a full report on those racers who lost the other night. All right. I'll see if we can't turn it around. I'm their good luck charm. All right.
Absolutely.
See you guys later.
Take care.